Hey everyone, I just joined this forum yesterday. Anyway, I am having major motivation issues. I work a 9 to 5 and when I should be working like right now, I am constantly thinking about my business and what I can do to improve. The thing is, when I get home, I literally have no energy left, so I don't work on my business then either. Basically, I can't concentrate at work or at home. Does anyone else deal with this? Any tips? Hey, welcome to the forum. I can totally relate. I used to feel like my employer owned my time. I used to feel like if only I had more time, I would actually get my other businesses done. I felt trapped. And I felt used by my employer. I had a lot of bitterness and anger and I directed it at the only thing I knew, my employer. In hindsight, this wasn't fair at all. Or accurate. Or helpful. I got a job working my own hours. 3 days a week. Basically I ended up working about 6 hours a day 3 days a week. This new job utilized my unique skill set and knowledge, had tons of flexibility, paid more, and I had tons of free time. Guess what happened with all that free time? I was suffocated by it. I misused it like crazy. I felt even worse when I had all that time. I knew I should do something with it, but I had zero discipline. I spent so much time blaming my employer and my job that I never figured out the problem was all with myself. Honestly, not trying to be mean, and don't think I'm talking down to you in any way. I was the same way. But your problem is 100% yourself. There is no reason that you can't work a 9 to 5 job and have time to work on your ideas or your business at home. Some practical advice for you. 1. Pick one business idea. Just one. 2. Write out a general outline including your target market, general cost required to start, etc. 3. Break down everything into actionable items. What are the 3 things you could do this week? Small steps. Break it all into small steps. 4. Take one step every day. Don't let the big idea overwhelm you. Just focus on consistent action over time and develop this habit. Stop wasting your time. If you're like I used to be, you come home from work and veg in front of Netflix with a drink in hand. Cut it out. You're watching your life literally slip past you. You're going to die one day. Live the life you were meant to live. I believe a lot of people experience this, especially when you begin feeling like a square peg in a round hole at your job. I know I felt it when I was working my job, and one thing that sent me crazy was the fact that our technology was way outdated, so it frustrated me when I had to deal with customers, even after explaining it tirelessly to MGMT it was a government job. However, I will admit that my job was my introduction to the world of adulthood. It helped me recognize that customer care is of huge meaning to me, since I asked it at my old job and now it's a major aspect of my biz. I understand that part about being drained too. The routine is getting to you, you'd have to find ways to strengthen yourself mentally. Sometimes, the hunger to create a successful business is enough to help change our mindsets. Maybe you can look at the company you're working with and see what problems exist and see what solutions are possible to create and package in the form of a product or service, and then you can look at the fastlane aspects that will help bring it to life all while still at your job, so eventually the transition will be smooth, both financially and otherwise. I can relate. When I was young and identified as an entrepreneur, this is why I always took crappy jobs with a low mental energy involvement. I knew when I went home I wanted to be able to work on my business. At this point, your job demands energy or mental might pay the bills, but it also has a destructive hidden price. It sounds like it's killing your dream. Get up 2 to 3 hours earlier to work on your business only. That way you have no other choice to grind and there's nobody disturbing you. Worked for me and many others on this forum. Good luck. I feel tired all the time because of long hours of commute and staring at a computer screen all day in my 9 to 6 job. So when I get home, usually the voice in my head telling me to sleep is the challenge I'm trying to overcome every day. But still, like you said, the hunger to build a successful business and remembering the whys gives me the drive to work what I should need it to work. You have to learn how to make it into a habit, instead of waiting for when you're motivated. We all do things out of habit even when we don't feel like it. When you wake up before work, even if you're hungover or groggy, you take a shower, you brush your teeth, etc. Tomorrow when you come home from work, you walk through the door, you sit down, you read, plan, strategize, execute. That's it. That's your routine. That's what you always do when you get home from work. If it helps, do it while you mumble under your breath how work sucks and you don't feel like doing shit, but whine about it while you're doing it. Don't wait for the fleeting sense of motivation. That comes and goes. Like Joe Rogan says, if I only worked out when I felt like it, I'd be a fat $1. You could also start by refilling your energy when you get home. Maybe sleep for half an hour. Don't forget to set the alarm, drink a cup of tea or read or something you feel relaxes you. But only for a maximum of half an hour, then take a walk around the block and try to work on your business afterwards. I went through this exact thing a few years ago when I was first starting my business and still had a full-time job. It was difficult, but you need to remember two things. 1. Work is paying you to be there. You need to fulfill the job you promised, and I assume that this is paying the bills at the moment too. Use your distaste for the 9 to 5 as motivation to work on your own business after or before. I'm not sure of any motivation better than being forced to be at work. If the juice is worth the squeeze, you will find a way to get it done. Hi, I am constantly thinking about my business and what I can do to improve. The thing is, when I get home, I literally have no energy left, so I don't work on my business then either. Basically, I can't concentrate at work or at home. Does anyone else deal with this? Any tips? As you will probably guess, and I bet this thread will get longer, lots of people starting out feel like that. A quick tip: as we all know, a business is something that we all have to work at. We have aims and goals. Some are static, for example opening hours, others are flexible. I want to achieve this in months or days, etc. When you are thinking about your business and what you can do to improve, set a simple attainable daily goal and a reward for achieving that goal. Daily goals: brief examples. Post a thread or answer a thread on, and then grab a reward. Nice cool beer, a chocolate, a nice relaxing bath or something. Or read a chapter of the fastlane or, and then grab a reward. Another nice cool beer, chocolate or something. Or pick up the phone and talk to just one client, find out how they are doing, what's going on, etc. and then grab a reward. Another nice cool beer, chocolate or something. One daily goal, one daily reward. The last idea, one client, really pays dividends. Remember a guy called Lee Iacocca? Was at one point the chairman, president and CEO of Chrysler, mainly at different times. Anyhow, sure, it was him if not somebody else large in the auto industry. Every day he would pick up the phone, or walk and meet, then specifically talk to, have a coffee with a random member of staff, just shooting the breeze, not work, etc. Created great employee relationships as he got to understand everybody in the company and broke many barriers between management and workers. Sorry, hate that type of divide. Keep the biz faith and achieve a goal a day. Do that and you not only get rewards, but you will see real rewards. If you are able to structure it, I would highly recommend waking up very early, putting in your business efforts before the sun rises. Then go to work, and if you don't have the proper energy for work, well, realistically you'll probably fit right in with everyone else. If you wake up at 3:30, shit or shower or shave, start real business work at 4 a.m. and work until 8:30, that's 4.5 hours to get real things accomplished. Put in your daily grind at the office, come home and check on anything that needs addressing from the morning's activities, probably less than 30 minutes of follow-ups as needed. Then go to bed at 8:30 p.m. That gives you 7 hours of sleep, which is more than enough for most people. Hell, I worked on 6 hours of sleep for years without issues. Not enjoyable but certainly doable if needed. Honestly, getting work done after a long day at the office or wherever is impossible for me. Truly, perfectly impossible. Call it a limiting belief, but my brain was shot after 8 hours working for someone else. Zero gas left in the mental tank. Working early, however, puts your best energy towards your own project. Yep, you've got to want it. Find a way around those mental excuses. I'm going to paraphrase from the 2 books this forum focuses a lot on. 1. If you're too tired to do anything about it, you don't want it enough. Or 2. You haven't really said FCK this and meant it. You can either save up a cushion and leave and do it full time, or like said, get something less mentally draining but paying worse and just do it until things start working. If you want it, you'll make it. If you think you want it, you'll think about making it. But seriously, I know the feeling. You just have to keep pushing and good luck. 100% on you. I also went through this. It wasn't easy. What helped me most is daily action. No matter how small. Once you make it a habit, motivation is not necessary. At my day job, I work 50 to 60-hour weeks plus a 3-hour-per-day commute. I found that even still, there is still plenty enough time to get things done. When you focus, you make progress, and progress brings more motivation, and more progress brings even more progress. Snowball. As others have already mentioned, you got to do the things that matter. The activities that lead to sales. The ones that give you the 80 or 20. You gotta figure out and break down your core activities and do them daily. Now I don't even have to think about working on the business. I wake up at 4 a.m. to do it. Stay up late. Work weekends. And even during my commutes. Automatic. To get there, you have to keep reinforcing the behavior. Rep++ for truest statement ever. LOL. You have weekends. If you treat them like a full-time job, that's a good 16 hours per week to grow something on the side. I've done it with 5 to 10 hours per week. It's not hard, especially if it's an online business. I would also recommend taking advantage of lunch breaks at work. It might give you another 30 to 60 minutes of maintenance on your business. If you're motivated enough, you'll make time. You need to be a bit more creative, my friend. Instead of working at night, work in the morning. I used to get to work 2 hours earlier than anyone else. Depending on the type of job you have, this might or might not be possible. Going to work 2 hours earlier helped me. 1. Get up early. 2. Forced me to work on the business because I was already at work. 3. Realized how much of a high it was getting there before everyone else. It was like an early morning win. Just helped put me in the right mindset. 4. Gave me a legit 10 hours extra a week that I could work on my business uninterrupted and when I am at my most focused. 5. More time in the day even if you don't have a business or are trying to start one or just trying to better yourself. Think of it this way. If you got to work just 1 hour earlier than everyone else and worked on yourself, at the end of 1 week, you would have 5 hours invested in yourself. After 1 month, 20 hours of self-investment. After 1 year, 240 hours of self-investment. At a 8-hour workday you will have spent a full 30 days bettering yourself or getting your business started while everyone was still sleeping. Lol, just said exactly what you did but much less eloquent. My bad for the similar post readers. You might want to try my method as I've been busy working and building a business or learning after I work. This is my routine. 1. Get home from work exhausted. 2 to 20 to 40 minutes power nap. 3. Meditate 5 to 10 minutes helps reset your brain. 4. Clean apartment for 10 minutes. A clean workspace or home does wonders. 5. Read 20 minutes of a motivational book. MFL, Compound Effect. Tony Robbins 6. Ask yourself why you are doing this. Remember your 7. Get to work. 8. Sleep. 9. Repeat. I think the key to developing a powerful habit or routine is to build momentum. Start easy stuff, then like dominoes, the rest fall into place. The tips others have posted are solid. I've personally found the following to work for me. Power naps, yes, please. A 20 minutes walk, steady state, not a run with an business or development audio book. Water intake during the day, 5 p.m. and 9 p.m. Coffee or yerba mate for when you really want to knock it out of the park. Focus vitamins. My go-tos are 1 plus 200 mg caffeine tablet, 1 huperzine A, and 2 attend capsules, paying attention to macronutrition. Greater than if you need thinking ability, stick to fats and protein. Carbs or sugars will slow you down and make you want to lounge or sleep, in addition to creating a fog. Music instrumentals, on loop. The tempo provides a pattern for your brain to follow in making progress. Greater than that combined with isochronic tones. Weekends are also a big deal for me. Guard them. Don't let others make plans for you. And set the expectation, not waiting until Friday night to tell a significant other that you're going to work Saturday afternoon. Another vote for getting up early. Give your business the lion's share of your energy. Your 9 to 5 can have the leftovers. Wasn't expecting so many replies. Also, there is a ton of really helpful tips, and it's also really reassuring to know that I am not alone in feeling this way. Thanks to everyone for sharing your knowledge, it is very appreciated. Marked notable, a treasure trove of suggestions. The main things I tell myself are, go back to the basics. Prioritize sleep, eat well, hydrate, exercise. If my energy is low, I'm usually lacking somewhere with that. I find that of all things, stretching is the most effective way to accelerate recovery and give me enough energy to keep executing. In fact, if I stretch consistently, I don't need to sleep as much. There are 4 categories I try to focus on, consistently popularized by Kevin Nations: fitness, family, finance, and faith in myself. I find that if any of those categories are imbalanced, then I'm not as effective. Fitness, I take time every day to maintain health. Family, this is pretty much a given in Asian culture. Lol. Finance, building this business and prioritizing marketing. Faith, working on my mindset and vision. The reality is that you will likely need to find the tools that work for you to find an entirely new gear and do more. I recommend the audiobook Relentless by Tim S. Grover. I have literally listened to it at least 70 times over the last 16 months. It puts me in a meditative state. Also, with friends and family, I now live by the phrase that no is the new yes. If someone asks me, do you want to go out to dinner with X couple and it's a weekday? No is my new yes, because when I say no to non-core activities to move the needle in my life and business, I find I am saying yes to more core activities. I know that the only thing that moves the needle in my business are a few core activities around marketing, administration, and product. If I say no to everything else aside from business and 1 hour each night with fam, I'm ruthless about it. And I'm completely content. Also, I over-communicate with everyone to keep them on board and supporting me with my mission. Elicit help from existing resources wherever you can. Hope that helps. This. Common effort gets common results. You need to get obsessed. If I can recommend an additional breakdown of tasks. Morning, I wake up just after 4:30 every morning and do my creative work. I've got a cup of coffee with me and I'm basically like a coiled spring with a bunch of thoughts racing through my head. I'm extremely productive. Evening, at the end of your morning routine, put down one thing, just one, that you intend to do that night and make it administrative or something like editing the post of that morning. Keep it manageable and you'll be able to grind through it. Hope this helps. Definitely one of the best takes I've seen on this subject. I read about this guy who was just about for himself in a day and he has built a business. This changed my mindset when I had the same issue as you. Slowly but steadily I'm moving ahead towards a life I know I can relate. I feel like it's much more difficult the older I've gotten. It seemed so much easier my first time building a business 16 years ago. Trying to do it all again and do it 100 times better than the first time, at age 41, on a single income, with a wife and 2 kids, can be downright daunting. I have a boss that drives me insane, co-workers who aren't driven, and when I get home I feel like my soul has been sucked out of me, every single day. And then I feel guilty for any time I choose to spend away from my family in the evenings and on the weekends trying to build a business and maintain my old business. It's a constant struggle, but you have to power through and continue to believe in yourself and the idea that you can break free from everything holding you back. As others have said, putting your plan down on paper, breaking it into actionable steps you can work on daily, and holding yourself accountable to take those steps daily is the only way it will work. I know that the only time I feel like I'm failing at it is those days I don't take action. Good luck in your journey. What works for me is to utilize every minute not working your day job on pre-planned tasks for the week. I know on Sunday what I need to have complete during the week to move my business ahead. Even if tired after work, I make it a habit to at least get one task done. I can't neglect sleep as well. And +1 to what Ice Cream Kid said about the word no. I use it a lot now. Monday through Friday the answer is no. I also utilize my hour lunch at my job to catch up on emails or get a task started for when I get home. You don't need motivation. You just need to get clear about your big why. You can't will your way to it. You want to why your way to it. You want to work on that mindset until it's super sharp it can hurt. Why are you in business? What for? To help people? To chase money? To become free? To provide? To leave a legacy? What is the purpose for your intent? Once you clarify that, nothing will stop you. Late nights, hunger, no energy, nothing. I can totally relate to you because I tried doing this while running my computer gaming shop before. It's exactly the same. You know what I found later on? I am done psing with myself. Once I clearly understood, not believed or analyzed, understood that my time is limited, it's a no-brainer. Think of the huge advantage you have if you have time and utilize it to the max. Bills, out of habit, social pressure. All of it was clawing at me to come back. I just said no more. Shoot me. I've said it before. But this time, it's not bravado. It was certainty. Your strategy is up to you. You have your own situation. You can figure that out. Once you find the little opening, that little chance, that little foothold to escape those things that are holding you back, hold with all your might. And never ever let go until you come out on the other side. Sometimes we all need to be deep in a ditch. Because until you know what it's truly like, you're really just playing around and coming back up and out. We learn things the best the hard way. So this could just totally fly over your head. Grandmaster chess players have a saying that goes like this: one who is not afraid to lose, has the initiative. Simply put, have no fear. Do whatever sacrifice it takes to win. Get serious. I'm in this situation right now. I used to struggle to work on my business after getting home from my day job and then reprimand myself for not doing enough. A big change happened when I just accepted that my mind and body were not going to let me do what I wanted to do. So I changed my sleeping cycle. Now, I go to bed at 7:30 p.m. and wake up at 3:15 a.m. That gives me several hours when my mind is fresh to work on my business. My day job gets whatever I have left over. It helps that I'm single and have no kids, but luckily that's a decision I made. I also do stuff like making 2 weeks' worth of food in one go and freezing it, then reheating it and eating the same meal every day. I find that creating routines or habits and meditation helps me to be more productive and focused. Here's what I'd tell myself when I worked a 9 to 5 and the kids were really young. Put the first things first. Family and health. Keep chipping away. Don't be busy. Do things that move the needle. I like to think of the one thing every week or day that will make the most difference and try and do that. Ask better questions. Who can you invoice this week? How can you make a sale this week? Consider product founder fit. If you've limited resources, and don't we all? Then try side hustles that you can make a sale within a week or month. Get small wins under your belt. Keep focusing on small wins. Good things happen when you move at pace. Good things happen when you keep moving. Consider recurring revenue streams. Don't be tempted by promises of passive recurring revenue streams. It takes a lot of work to get there. Remember that your desk is for executing. Do your thinking elsewhere. Don't open email, Facebook, or the forum when you sit down. That's a bad habit. Listen to podcasts on your commute. Not all the time. Let your mind have some space to churn things over. Realize that we can't really manage time. If we say we didn't have time to do something, then realize it's because we chose to do something else instead. Filter tasks through the 4 Ds, dump it, delegate it, defer it, do it. Make use of your restricted time and turn it into an advantage. Use it as a tool to force you to prioritize. I don't really get the word or the concept of motivation. I talk about it here. Remember that just freeing yourself from a 9 to 5 can have a massive effect on how you feel and allow you to speed up exponentially. Here's a related thread. For years I spent pissing my wife off because I'd be up until 1-2-3 in the morning working on some crazy business idea. None of the went any here, but I learned how to run on less sleep. But here's what kept me going while chained to a cubicle. And, it sounds like you don't have this around you. You need a support system of people who also run their own businesses. Right now, from what it sounds, you're fighting this battle alone. This forum is great in cyberspace. Talking with these folks really stimulated the competitive nature humans have inside. It pushes you forward. When something must get done, you find the willpower to get to the finish line no matter how exhausted your body feels. Having clients today, I still stay up late when a deadline looms. Suddenly, my tiredness falls by the wayside. Essentially, start a progress thread on here and be brutally honest. That'll be a small accountability step. I'm also in the same situation. All I can advise is try all the advice above and choose what will suit you. Couldn't agree more. I've just had to give myself a real refocus as I began slacking hard with my 9 to 5 because I was working hard on my side gig on the job. Thing is, my 9 to 5 has an end date, and if I focus on that until the end date arrives, I can set myself up really well by earning a shitload of commish. But I was forsaking that as that process isn't as enjoyable and doesn't fuel the same passion as building something for myself. I digress. Great read is Mini Habits. Wanna get fit? Start with 1 push-up. Write a book? Start with 50 words. But do these tasks every single day and soon you're doing a 30-minute workout 7 days a week and your book is complete in 4 months. Create the mini habit first. Let it grow into the habit you want it to be, and the long-term results aren't far away. I manage this business or job balance reasonably well in my humble opinion. I made the mental shift a few years ago that went something like this. In my job, I'm responsible for delivering outcomes to my employer. Some days those outcomes require that I spend 10 hours working on it. Other days, like yesterday, I didn't have much on, so it required only maybe 2 hours. As long as I'm meeting my obligations to them, the rest of the time is mine and I do what I want it. Seems to work pretty well if you're not in a job where you're punching a clock. Love it. Keep it coming, so much value to take in. Currently I get up at 4 to 5 every day, work and commute until 6 every day, try to sleep between 10 and 11, which gives me a maximum of 5 but usually 4 hours a day. An hour's downtime with the missus, an hour cooking and eating, an hour working on business development, and an hour's gym time is generally the routine, which usually goes on the weekend at the moment. The concept of not having a 9 to 5 is the exact thing that motivates me through working around a 9 to 5. Having started my working life in fields where 12 to 16 hours shifts are normal, finishing a 9 to 5 feels like I have all day left. Perspective is what I'm saying. Probably the most important thing for productivity is when you work. You need to pay attention to yourself and when you are most effective. If it's early mornings, then you change your sleep cycle to wake up earlier and capitalize. Lots of people want to make the next Facebook and generally IMO, which isn't worth much. That's a mistake. There are plenty of mundane or boring businesses that are both lucrative and, more importantly, will teach you how to build a business as a first attempt, which is arguably more valuable than the money. There are guys on here who made it cleaning carpets, flipping houses, working IT support, and a million others that most who think of themselves as entrepreneurs would turn their noses up at. Build habits of success. As most people's jobs, I work on a computer from 9 to 5 plus overtime. What I figured out is that most of the time when I return home, it's not my complete body which is tired but my eyes. However, those exhausted eyes drag you down completely. I mean literally the whole day our eyes are working, and most of the time that's by staring at a screen. Therefore I make sure to close my eyes after work for 15 minutes and listen to a podcast or some music to relax them. You'll feel refreshed very fast. Yep, I'm also dealing with this. I started off liking the 9 to 5 job and was actually fueled by it for the first couple of months. Now I get home after a 1-hour commute, and I'm completely drained from work. Not that the job is demanding at all, the lack of challenge is what's draining me. I can perform 90% of my job on 50% effort, and still do a great job. I work as an online marketeer at the big travel agency, where most things are now automated and just need some tweaking every week, which doesn't require much effort. The worst thing to overcome is feeling like you're actually doing something to work on your dream by working the 9 to 5 job to earn the money to start or build your business with. If you're not actually putting in the work in your business, working the 9 to 5 job means nothing and is actually going to trap you in the near future. I personally feel I need to GTFO as quickly as possible before the 9 to 5 job traps me to a point where I feel like there's no return, although earning the salary seems like it's helping me start or build a business someday. Yay man, what everyone else is saying, wake up early. I started waking up at 5:30 a.m. and it's already a huge improvement. I make a list of tasks I need to do the night before and I circle the one that is most important. I wake and go work out to some motivational stuff, then come home to coffee and hit the task hard. That or I show up to work an hour and a half early and work on it. No email, no phone, no checking MFL, YouTube. Save that for when you're at your 9 to 5. Not sure if this link will work, but it's the first chapter of Brian Tracy's book No Excuses. What do you do? Have you ever tried outsourcing your work? I mean, as long as it gets done and the quality is there, and you don't mind getting let go if you're caught. A lot of people could honestly outsource most of their work to a VA for pennies on the dollar. I also suggest doing it early in the morning, especially if you have a family. Evening is full of distractions and it is not really possible to come home after job and tell your wife, I have things to do. Please imagine I'm not here, even if she really supports you. Morning is totally different. I often do more in the morning than during the whole day. Besides, this approach has another benefit. You spend your most effective hours on your business, not job. When I was just getting started in building income-generating sites for clients, I made my 9-to-5 boss a proposition. I'd build him a site for a steal of a price and I would guarantee a 50% return paid monthly. I accomplished 3 things doing this. I had to work my tail off to learn and create. When I wanted to stop working at my 9-to-5, I'd switch over to web design. I'd be sure to show him all the best features of the site so he would stay excited and not ticked when I didn't do my work. Not unethical. He was still getting an incredible bargain. 50% ROI paid monthly without doing any work. Yes, please. I generated my first sale, my first client, and had the chance to turn him into a raving fan. Sometimes creative thinking can go a long ways. Motivation for me came when I realized I was 100% responsible for my own life, and that no one else will come to the rescue. Brain Tracy taught me that. It was then that I realized, if I don't do shit, shit's not going to happen. So now I'm making it happen. A 9-to-5 should give you the motivation to never wanna do one ever again, either that or it just ain't bad enough for you to take the risk needed. I'm currently trying to build a business at the same time as having a 9-to-5 job and a young family. I've found the following works best for me. I used to stay up late watching TV playing on my Xbox. I now get up between 4 and 5 and get on with work. You're at your best when you're most rested and freshest, so give your business the best you. Another benefit of this is once you've woken your other half up at 4 a.m., they motivate you very quickly to get your ass out of bed. Once you're up at that time, you may as well crack on with your project. When I first started the 4 a.m. starts, I woke up at 4 no matter what time I went to bed. I thought that habit was key to my success. I was wrong. The lack of sleep had an effect on my ability to concentrate, my health suffered and I felt low. Experiment to find out how much sleep you need and make sure you get that every night. For me, it's just over 6 hours. Make a to-do list just before you go to bed. That way, you'll wake up and hit the ground running, not spend 15 minutes doing half a dozen different tasks that either don't get finished or aren't important. Doing this over time does make you feel strung out. Don't feel bad every now and then just taking a day to get some rest. Spend time with your family and remind yourself why you're putting yourself through this. You'll knuckle down much harder the next day. So many great tips have been given, so here is something different I can add. Starch, carbohydrate, and sugar all drain your energy. Vegetables and meat are the best combination. Don't rely on stimulants like caffeine. They will only cost more in the long run. I focus 100% at work and do my best so I can squeeze some time out of it. For example, toilet breaks, coffee or smoking breaks, longer lunch time, or even just use company's computer to do my own tasks. Avoid meaningless chats like how was your weekend or what's your plan for the weekend. But of course be helpful to your workmates, squeeze a few hours before your day job but don't overdo it. Earliest I've done for a long period of time is 4 a.m. but you need a good balance. We all know overnight shifts are detrimental to our health, so avoid the extremes. 5 or 5.30 should be a sweet spot. Personally, I don't recommend a power nap unless it's done after lunch, which is so far away from your night's sleep and doesn't affect it. Go to a library or a cafe. Some shopping malls have many quiet areas after 5 or 6 because the malls are kept open only for some giant stores. Finally, this problem is a test of your motivation. When you manage your own business, it's only going to be harder. Hope my post adds value to this thread. To be specific, good lean meats, not KFC fried shit. I have a recipe: chop up carrots, potatoes and onions. Boil them in water with some chicken. I use drumsticks because I want an all-in-one meal. Boil for an hour or more. Simple recipe, but it will feed you well. And yes, coffee breaks can be your best bet to riches lol. I've had this problem for 15 plus years at my past job. I know what it's like to be sitting at your desk grinding away, constantly thinking about the business you want to start. I too have wondered, how do I get out of this? All my responsibilities are holding me back from leaving and jumping right into it. It took me years to save enough money to actually leave my job and do what I've so longed to create. But honestly, it's not your job, colleagues, or boss that's holding you back. It's you. I just sucked it up for a while after work and continued to study the field I wanted to actually be in. At the same time saved enough dough to make the leap. Sure, there were other factors that sort of pushed me to leave my job and do it. But it all boils down to how much you want it. I know this is a broken record you've probably read or heard somewhere, but it's the truth. When they say, you have to sacrifice your time with sweat and tears, they weren't kidding. I wasn't successful at first, failing over and over again. But I did it part-time. Sure, I was tired, sure I wasn't going out with my friends and family much. But in the end, it paid off. I've learned that I studied the shit out of my field, and didn't really feel the need to succeed until my and my family's life depended on my success. You will be pushed to do things you have never thought you could do. I took the leap to start something on my own, and boy was it the best decision I've made in my life. Now I have to deal with other problems like what am I going to do today to push my trading skills forward? Boredom, because of the type of thing I do. I usually make enough money for the day and have so much free time I'm looking for things to do. I now spend time with family and friends much more. Well, when they aren't working. You will notice everyone's grinding away at work or school and you'll be alone most of the time. I continue to study my field and have a burning desire to succeed further. I know it can all be taken away from me at any time, which is why I continue to prepare myself to be ready to get back up again just in case. Which is why, after all the BS you read and hear, it all boils down to you and taking action part-time. That's great tip. If you eat well for a few days then eat badly for a day, you'll be surprised how bad you feel. That sluggish feeling you're putting down to lack of motivation could well be poor diet and exercise, as what others have alluded to. Wake up early and do your own side business. I listened to a podcast in foreverjobless.com that the site owner mentored his friend. The first step that his friend took was to wake up early in the morning to work on his side business first before going to office. A lot of successful entrepreneurs love to wake up early in the morning. Another thing is that ketogenic diet really helps to cut down the number of hours you need to sleep. I find that I have sharp mental clarity on keto diet or even paleo much more than when I loaded myself with carbs. I recently read about many habits, like 1 push-up a day, 1 minute of meditation a day, etc. Sounds pointless, but to GR's quote above, making it a habit means you no longer have to think about it, you'll do it by rote. And then, once you do your 1 push-up, you get to choose, do I continue and do more push-ups? Either way you feel motivated, 1 you either met your goal 1 push-up or 2 you destroyed your goal 5, 10, 100 push-ups or more. Talk about motivation. The only way to fail at that goal is to not do it at all. But seriously, why would you not do your 1 push-up? It literally takes less than a minute. Not doing ever 9-to-5 job should be your motivation. Train your mind, deep breathe and get ahead to make your own life and career successful. I'm about to pick up a second job. I'm motivated to work because I'm going somewhere with it, and because of that I'm motivated to continue making money from other streams. You got to realize it's just a part of a bigger picture. P.S. Not ashamed to say I'm picking up a second job and I'm going to enjoy it. Neither should you too. Work for someone when you have to, and don't when you want to. I struggle with this too. One of the things I did recently was change my 9-to-5 to 11-to-7. This way I can get up in the morning and work on my business first thing for a couple hours before I can let my 9 to 5 steal all my energy. I find it helps. I also think self-care is important if I'm not eating healthy, exercising, and sleeping well. My energy sucks no matter what I'm doing. Sent from my iPhone using TaperTalk. Might not be possible, but try and slash all unnecessary expenses and go part-time, or semi-remote if you can't survive on part-time wages. Commuting is more of a drain than the actual job in a lot of cases. It's worse when you've got an okay 9-5 job that you don't hate. You know you can stay or show up, contribute, do the work, get the money, but you'll never be able to find or create the highest expression of your talent. I seem to take more action when I have a day that pisses me off. Not sure if frustration is a motivation for everyone, but that kind of this mentality seems to get me right into gear. I mean, don't get me wrong, I am grateful that I have a good working environment, but I also have to project and force myself to feel future pain. The pain I'd feel should I realize I'm now another year older and balder, with nothing to show for it. Nothing that's mine. I've seen some get to retirement age, pack up their desks, walk out, and it was like they were never there. Not one bit of their work lives on. All of the projects they touched have been destroyed or reinvented by the next person. There is no legacy, there is nothing. I can't let that be me. For me, my motivation is my 9 to 5. It's so boring and unfulfilling that it drives me to bust my ass when I get home. I wake up too early for a job which I get paid too little, board a train that has too many smelly people in it, all to look forward to a weekend which is too short. I will get out, and it'll be amazing. Cheers and good luck to you, mate. Motivation is garbage because you won't get it when you need it. What you need is consistent towards your goal. So, how do you stay consistent? You take the first step without hesitation. Most of us have the problem of getting started. How do you take the first step? Use the 5 4 3 2 1 and you take the first step. It helps you to create a starting ritual by counting backward. It is also backed by scientific research. I personally use the plus. Give it a try. Hope this helps. Hell yeah, man. Thank you for the helpful information. Hello, I find myself in the same situation, work 8 to 6, Monday to Friday, Saturday 8 to 3. I have a jewelry store and I face a lot of headaches every day, causing problems from outside to inside my house. But when I started to read the book, a habit that I never had, I started to change my thinking. I put myself in first place. I'm training in taking more actions, avoiding saying no to things just so I do not do them. I'm dedicating myself at least 1 hour a day in the book, and all the rest of the time I'm stuck I write down my ideas. My motivation is to be better than me more and more. Good luck. I was having the same problem 2 years before, but then I got business loan from a private lender and started a clothing business. I succeeded in this business after a few months and now I am happily living. Yes. Recently, I am dealing with it. As I am just started, I have faced these difficulties. After finish office it is tough to maintain that. But I love to sit before computer always and do not feel tired too much to work 3-4 hours after office. What can help you on this case? If your business relevant, your passion will give extra satisfaction and happiness. I also think after certain time everyone should leave office. Thank you. Use everything you hate in your 9 to 5 as a motivator. Here's a list of things that motivate me on a daily basis. These things used to really pull me down. Now I use them as motivation. I know that I am working to escape this. My point is, every time you get back from work and sit down, I do not care how cheesy that sounds, but that is the reality. That is why we are all here. Excellent advice. Thank you. My barber is 83 and is the most energetic, hilarious guy I currently know. He plays golf 3 days a week and drinks 3 juices a day. Try eating more veggies. Throughout college I really wanted to learn to code Python and build websites. I remember just trying to work 1 hour a day pushing through loads of errors that took days to troubleshoot. I knew that I just had to make an consistent effort and never give up. Slowly, by being persistent, I could troubleshoot the hardest bugs and errors. I not only became better, skill-wise, but I became more interested and more motivated. Remember, motivation is caused by action, not the other way around. These days I come home from work and work on my websites for 4 to 5 hours until I go to bed, because I'm good at it, so I enjoy it. I would rather design websites than sleep. I'm in love. If you asked me a year ago, I'd want to smash my computer from all the Python errors. TDLR, a little bit each day is better than nothing, and it will lead to more motivation. If you search Amazon for freezer meals, you'll find a lot of books on the subject. I love to make up freezer meals in advance and plop them into the oven after work so that I can be more productive with my time rather than using the time left after my day job to cook. But if you like to cook, it's also a good time to listen to audiobooks. Difficult for us in the food industry. I didn't even get work until 11:30 last night, SMH. I practice sales at my job, though it isn't my first task. Also, I meet many real estate owners and construction companies, so I always ask how's business and other questions. Is there a possibility for you to? Try checking a section on remote work in 4-hour work week. Tim gives practical steps on turning your 9 to 5 into remote work schedule, also with a script on how other person he gave advice to did it. I've negotiated remote work schedule with my company and won myself many hours that could have been wasted in transport, 2 hours each day, as well as stress of being stuck in traffic. Instead, I use those hours towards working on my business. I wouldn't exchange this kind of flexibility for any other day job. A great thread. Thanks for starting it. Like many here, I can relate. Up at 5, on the road for an hour and a half, commute by 6, work for 9+ hours, drive home. Some days I'm physically and mentally exhausted. But I know I cannot, will not, go on this way. That drives me to put in a couple hours changing my life, no matter how tired I am. Sometimes the worse the day at work, the harder I work when I get home. Give your employer their money's worth during their time. That is what you've agreed to do for their pay. Then give yourself even more effort during your time. I know exactly how draining a 9 to 5 can be, especially if you dislike the work environment and the people. You're in a vicious cycle right now where think about all the fun things about your business that you want to do during the day, and burn yourself out. As many have already said in here, you're going to have to change your mindset. You start slowly scheduling small amounts of time each day, perhaps 15 minutes to start, and focus fully for 15 minutes and get some work done. Your reward is now you can relax, watch TV, whatever. Over time you'll increase this to an hour or 2 depending on your preference, and you can schedule it morning or after work. Here's what has worked for me. I also was couch-locked every day after work for a long time. I made sure that I was getting the best sleep possible. I had a sleep study done, got treatment for some problems I had, and now I'm getting better sleep. Make sure to get that out of the way just to see. After this, start committing to 8+ hours of sleep a night, and move your bedtime back. 9:30 p.m. is a good time to try to fall asleep by, which takes approx 15 minutes. Stop using media and such round 8:30 and switch to reading or similar activities. You'll wake up at 5 a.m. and have plenty of time to prepare your mind for the day, properly feed yourself, and do some business work. Once you set a goal for one of your businesses, find somewhere centrally visually located, something you'll see every day without fail. Put a reminder for your goal up there, so that it is always on your mind. Break the goal down to as small of tasks as needed, and start making progress. Another thing to consider is space allocation and cleanliness. If you have a work area specifically set up to support the tasks you do for your business idea, then it'll be easier for you to get on the job, one less excuse and inconvenience. Having clutter around your living and workspacing has a mental effect on you. You don't notice it until everything is clean and back in order, but it's a simple peace of mind that occurs because everything has a place, and everything is in its place. I recommend the Konmari Method, even more accessible now that Netflix has premiered a show featuring Marie Kondo applying her method. Do check out her books. The first one is the one I've read and it's great, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo. Get your head in the game, set your mind to your task, and stop making excuses. Just do it. I usually woke up a few hours early before work to work on my own projects. In all honesty, why would I give my best, most productive hours to some job when there isn't much incentive for me to do so? Just out of curiosity, if not on business, what are you guys spending your time on after work? If you are doing things like partying with your friends, not eating right, not working out, and watching TV, no wonder you can't find the motivation. Your patterns and beliefs must be congruent with your goals. Cough cough. Someone on the forum once said that if you hold the patterns and beliefs of an employee, that is the highest you will be able to achieve. Why do you think those top 10 lists of what successful people do are so popular? Conversely, someone can also have the patterns and beliefs of a $1 million income potential. In this case, they will not be able to exceed that income until they adopt a $10 million belief system. I still have a full-time job, but for me it is not even a question what to do after work. My passion to leave is so strong that it isn't something I think about. I just do it. I'm with you, Greg. Even though I know the company I work for is doing important work and I like many of the people there, I know I cannot stay there. Every free minute of my time is spent on either my wife or our transition to the fastlane. She's on board with the transition, making it much easier. What time do you start work? Usually around 4 p.m., so I still have most of the day. Did anyone read the book The Obstacle is the Way? The Timeless Art of Turning Trials into Triumph? I am about to read it. It is written by Ryan Holiday. Just the title blows my mind. Lol. No, you're in my case it wouldn't make any sense sleeping for 1 hour or less after my 8 hours of work slavery. When I'm doing this I need afterwards 2 hours and more to be ready working on my business. So I tried to find other options after entering my home to not going to sleep. I see so many advices about motivation and willpower which are in my opinion marketing tools to sell you the new ebook or course. Or whatever. Building your own business only on motivation means always be confronted with should I give up? If you really understand your own truly why. You don't need any motivation or willpower. Working on your own business will be like brushing your teeth. A natural process without any cost of willpower. You keep naturally going in the flow. The only question you will be asking, how can I invest more resources into my business? Also time. Have you ever calculated how much money do you really need for the basic life? I mean the real basic life. Without living on the street or being hungry? Or without traveling 5 times a year to fancy places? I was surprised that I don't need much to pay all my bills and for the little lifestyle I have. So I'm going reducing in my next step the weekly work hours and invest more time in my own business. In myself. I know. Every minute I invest in my work process brings me a step further into my freedom. Out of this crazy system of self-exploitation and low life expectations. I want to live. And not getting after 45 years of work in the same company a box of chocolate and a sweaty handshake. Everybody deserves more than that, right? How much value do you give your own life? I hope the most. Scone tag. Awesome advice. Thank you so much for sharing. You inspired me to think differently and take action on a new time system. Much appreciated. Rep Plus wanted to add a little value. For those of you struggling to be assertive in the morning, here's a quick and effective technique. Also, for those of you who have trouble falling asleep, drinking chamomile tea 30 to 60 minutes before bed works great. This is something I have struggled with. It is even worse when you hate your day job. It just drains you when you spend 9 hours away from home for something you have no passion or even like of. What helped me is making a list the night before of the things I want to accomplish after work. When I did that, I was too ambitious and it will cause disappointment. I was more realistic, so I would make a list of 2 smaller things and 1 large thing to accomplish before I went to bed. I know some people get up earlier to do the work, but I am a night owl and can rarely go to sleep before midnight, so I would use the night time to accomplish what I needed. I am often most awake and productive from 9 to 11 p.m., which is the opposite of most people. Hi guys. As I know myself, I motivate myself with my targets, books, stories about people who reach something cool, for example. So kind of articles working pretty good. But best motivation is your brain. Use it for 100% and you will get all that you need. Have a good day.